it's a real honor, I must say, to interview you. I think when we walked in, it was really cool to see the energy of the gym, and it was also really nice to see how the energy changed when you walked in. I think now, I mean, young fighters are looking at Dricus du Plessis. When you were coming up, what was your inspiration? What were you looking at?
Oh, well, first, thank you for having me. It's great to be on the show, and I'm glad you noticed the energy in the gym, because that is a very important part for us today. You caught us actually on Thursdays is our active rest day. That's why it's much more, I would say, peaceful environment. Yeah, on Thursdays we do more of active recovery sessions, stretching, mobility, that kind of things. But now we always try to keep a certain level of culture in this gym, of excitement. You know, it's hard to come and train every day. You know, especially by Thursday, everybody's sore from the week's training, and we try to keep the spirits up always. And I demand that from my team, and obviously we have my coach, who is the godfather of the team, but you know, I'm the team captain, and I do expect the best out of all my teammates, and they expect the same from me. And I believe that in order for me to bring the best out of them, I need to be an example that I would like to see them, and the same from them. But you know, it's a very important part for us, and you know, at the end of the day, we do fight for this team, and we do fight for each other, and to make this team proud, and this name, Team CIT, has been along forever in the MMA game, and we're finally on that global stage. So it's a massive honor for us to represent South Africa and this team. And to answer your question on my inspiration, there were so many guys. You know, I just loved the sport. I wouldn't say there was one specific person that made me fall in love with the sport, but once I started getting into it as a little boy, 14, 15, you know, guys like my former teammate that used to train me, he's in America now, he's the Iron Lion, Leo Maynard, you know, a guy like Michiel Opperman, both UFC champions, guys who I looked up to as a kid, and eventually I shared the match with them. And you know, most of what I know, obviously my coach has been my only coach, Morné Visser. You also coached those guys, and they were the guys that, you know, mentored me, where I'm a mentor to other young and up-and-coming fighters right now.
And then something we already asked Wayne, but I think I would like to get it from you. He told us that when you were coming up and you were double champion EFC and at KSW, and you got the call to go spar for the UFC, he said they invited you for 2 sparring sessions. How did that go, and how did you get into the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, I got invited by guys in the United States to go help some of the guys fighting in the UFC prepare, and you know, it was an amazing experience. It was my first time going to the United States, you know, not as a fighter, but only as a still, you know, climbing the ladder to try and get into the UFC one day. And it was an amazing experience. Firstly, to see how close I am to the level of the international guys, because you never know. You see these guys fight on TV, they look huge, and you realize they're not bigger than me. And they are not that much better. There are certain areas where they are better, and I still need to work on. But then again, there's certain areas where I'm better. And I started gaining that self-belief of, listen, this is not just a dream I'm chasing. This is an actual reality. I can do this. I can be the best in the world. And you know, that was a massive learning curve for me. And you know, I stayed there for a month or 6 weeks, and it was incredible because my confidence just grew. And I would say around 2 years after my first visit there, I got signed to the UFC on a short notice after COVID, that somebody got injured. And you know, I got the call. I wasn't in great shape because, I mean, it was COVID. We were in a hard lockdown, but I'm still training. I train every day. We took the equipment to my house, trained there, and we got the call, 10-day notice. And you know, not ideal situation, but you can't say no to opportunity like that. And going today, #1 ranked middleweight in the world.
Yeah, like I was always think to myself, it's just taken you 5 fights in the UFC to get to that #1 ranking, and you know, that rise is impeccable. You say, like, you saw the level of guys there, and if I may just ask, out of those 5 fights, I mean, you TKO'd Robert Whittaker, but I think one of the wars I watched you in was Brett Tavares. Was that the toughest fight up to?
Brett Tavares was one of the toughest people I fought. You know, in terms of being tired, in terms of taking damage and all of those kind of things. I wouldn't call that my toughest fight. although he was the toughest guy, the toughest person I've ever fought, I hit that guy, and the next day my hands were swollen, and I mean, I hit people with 16-ounce gloves, and they go down with half the power that I hit that guy with, but he just wouldn't go down. It was incredible. It was an incredible experience. To date, my favorite fight. Going to war like that, you don't want to get in too many of those, and that's not good for your health. But every now and again, that's what I live for. I mean, that emotion, that adrenaline, that during the crowd, seeing the blood, rewatching that fight. Even till today, I watch a lot of my fights back. Till today, it's one of my favorite fights I've ever seen, and just as a fan. And but I wouldn't say the toughest fight, but definitely one of those fights where I had to go work for it. The first round I came out and I definitely lost the first round, and I knew round 2 and 3 I had to make it count. Won the second round, and the third round basically came down to who wanted it more. Yeah. And that's where I just made that switch and listen, I'll die in here, but I'm not going to lose this fight. And he obviously felt the same way because he was willing to die. I could see that all night.
Yeah, and now, after beating Robert Whittaker, so easy getting your face in the octagon, and I just want to get your thoughts on the current middleweight situation, because you are the number one ranked, and you were next in line for a title shot. But now it seems to have changed. The narrative seems to have changed with Kamaru Usman and Hamzat fighting this weekend. What are your thoughts on that fight, firstly? And then secondly, is it built-in frustration, or are you going to wait for another shot now?
Yeah, there was some frustration in the beginning, especially for I would say maybe a week or two, where I felt like, listen, I've done everything they've asked of me. I've been a great company man. I've been great, with the hype, the fights, the hype is there. I just beat Robert Whittaker very convincingly. I actually destroyed him. The first time in the UFC's history where that happens, a guy not only wins, but destroys the number one contender. He's been undoubtedly the number one contender for over a decade, and you don't get a title shot. But it only took me about 10 days to get over it. And I'm not a matchmaker. I'm a fighter. I'm still young, and if they want to give 2 welterweights a shot at the middleweight title, they're only discrediting that title, I believe. But it doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, I'm going to fight everybody. I'm going to be champion one day, so might as well start from the bottom up. If I beat the whole top 5, every guy in the top 5 right now, it's going to make it a lot easier journey for me to get that middleweight belt and go up to light heavyweight anyways. So I'm not going to sit and sulk about that. All I want to date and my next opponent, and if that's for the belt, great. If it's easy, great. If it's not, I don't care. I'm there to fight, and I'll fight whoever they put in there.
I saw Izzy saying that he's going to take some time off now after his loss to Strickland. But do you feel like there's business that needs to be dealt with there?
I believe that fight would be massive. I honestly feel that myself and Izzy would be a bigger fight than myself and Strickland at the moment in terms of hype. For me, obviously, the belt is my priority. That's what I would prefer to have. But the Izzy fight is the one the fans want. I think it would be massive. I think it would be a great pay-per-view. So that's a fight I would love to have. There is hype there. There's a narrative there. There's a story there. I think people want to see that fight, and I would love that fight. But if that's not the fight, he's taking some time off. He has been a very active champ, so I understand that, and maybe he does need to take some time off because we could see him. It seems to be wearing on him in his last performance. Obviously, he was a great champion. One of the best to ever do it. But he was active, and maybe it is time to take a step back from the fight, and because, like I said, he won't be able to compete with me or any top 5 middleweight in the performance he had against Sean Strickland.
And so for now, you will take another fight before the belt. It's not.
I'm not going to sit around and wait for a year or 6 months, 8 months. I'm not taking a break from the sport. I don't have. I need to get that belt. I need to. I have goals. I have dreams. I have a legacy to build, and I need to fight for that to happen. So I'm definitely not going to fight in 2023 again. Purely because the big cards are full. There's 2 pay-per-view events left. Both are full. I don't have an opponent. So at the end of the day, comes out and Usman is fighting now. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but that fight they're not going to fight this year. So I would probably say early, maybe February, maybe March next year. Since, you know, over the holidays, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
You know, South Africa basically closed down. So training for a fight and that, it's hard. And also I have a hard year. I always work hard year round.
My final question to you would be, the first time I saw one of your fights was when you were in the UFC. And I remember just staying up late because we were watching it at 4 a.m. here. I remember you saying to, I think it was Joe Rogan, after your fight, in your post-fight interview, that Dricus du Plessis, remember this name, I'm going to be a household name. It's 2023, you are a household name, not just in South Africa, around the world now. What's the goal for 2024?
Now, the 2023 goal has just been postponed. The goal for 2024 is keep on doing what I'm doing and get that belt ultimately. Beat everybody in my path, get the belt, and you know, I would like to win the belt next year. The goal is winning that belt and defending the belt at least once in 2023.
And then light heavyweight.
Yeah, you know, we'll see who I fought. If it makes sense, maybe defend the belt once or twice. And it all depends on how dominant I defend that belt. And I do intend on doing it very dominantly. There's a lot of shake-up in the division right now. So if the top 5 stays the top 5 the way it is, you know, I've already fought Lesego, you know, fighting a guy like whoever they give me next. And then for the belt, there's only 2 guys left to fight. And then going up to light heavyweight and you know, becoming a double division champion, that will be ideal. And within the next 2 years, that is the goal.
So hopefully, it's 2023 now, 2025, we sit together, it will be Dricus
We will be
Championship.
sitting here with 2 belts, 100%.
Dricus Championship.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think that's it for me. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
It's really an honor.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.